Hey, hope everybody's having a good day today. Hope you've had a good week and you're expecting a wonderful weekend and you're expecting God to bless you. No doubt He is and He will. And we've noticed that since the coronavirus has continued to progress, more and more families are quarantined to the house and spending much more time together. And though that's a great, wonderful thing, I believe families ought to spend some time together. It may be in some cases unusual for families to spend that much time together, and so we find ourselves at times our tempers can grow short and we can get frustrated. I myself have learned how difficult it is to be a school teacher because that's not the job that I signed up for. And though I thought I did pretty good at school when I went through myself, I find that I'm not as much of a school teacher as I was a student. And so that has become increasingly more difficult. And no doubt my bride, she's doing the very best she can. And we're trying to teach our children and go through the daily routines and keep everything around here. But we spent so much time together, and I've realized that sometimes you have to laugh just to keep from crying. And thinking about laughing, I wanted to share a couple of jokes with you that I'd heard. First of all, it said a Sunday school teacher was teaching her class and is talking about the commandments, the 10 commandments. And she had asked one of the class members, said, well, could you tell me one of the commandments that teaches us how to treat our parents? The little girl raised her hand. She said, oh yeah, I know that one. Thou honor thy father and mother. And the teacher said, well, that's a good job. Well, does anybody know another commandment or anything the Bible says about treating your brothers and sisters? And one little boy in the back jumped up and said, yeah, thou shalt not kill. And no doubt with how everything's going on right now, a lot of siblings are arguing and fussing and fighting, and that's no doubt probably normal during this time. And I pray that's probably not the case for you. But if it is, maybe you can laugh at that. I heard another joke, said a preacher was talking to a young man and was trying to fill him out on how much he knew about the Bible and how much he knew about the Lord. And he said, do you know what God's first name is? And the young man thought about it for a while, and he'd been in church before, and he'd listened to the preaching and to the choir singing and all those things. And so he tried to recall in his mind the best he could what God's name was. And he could never remember hearing the preacher ever say what God's name was. And then it occurred to him. He said, yeah, I know what God's name is. His name is Andy. And the preacher looked at him puzzled. And he said, son, I could realize, you may not know, but where did you come up with Andy? I mean, how did you come up with an answer like that? He said, well, the choir, I remember the choir singing one day, Andy walks with me, Andy talks with me. And the preacher laughed. But anyways, and just in case you're wondering, God's first name is not really Andy. But I thought that was humorous as well. I hope that you are having a wonderful day, and I pray that God blesses you. He says in Proverbs 17:22, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. So I want to encourage you to take time and laugh and enjoy yourself. And though the days may seem longer than they have been, it seems like there's no end to this thing in sight sometimes. I want you to pray and seek God's face and to be merry. Have a good time. No sense in being depressed and worrying and fretting about everything. Just enjoy your life and trust God. Can I encourage you to do that today? I pray for you and I love you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again.